gold pillows and curtains. It was pretty. It was kept real pretty. That's when I was young. Now I don't know what it was when you came.
Yeah.
But we're putting floors, linoleum and stuff down here and fixing it up. Look at the view. See if you can get the view out the window. This is below here. Down there, just a couple.
Where the horses are?
Up almost to the road here. Only about 10 feet off of the road is where the old house, the old foundation is still there, I think. And that's where the old homestead was when they came here. And they built the barn first, and then they built this house. Well, they had carpenters build it, because you can see the good work on the banisters when you go in. There was some pretty woodwork done in here at one time.
Now, Donna, is that barn, is that the original?
Yes.
Okay.
Quite a fancy house in this day.
You like it out there?
We've been working for 2 weeks. We're working about 12 hours a day.
We passed through it a couple of
We just got this ceiling done this morning.
Yeah, it looks nice in there.
2 big bedrooms. There was no closets in the house. And they took pieces out of both bedrooms and put a little bathroom in when I was 14. That was the outhouse. And this here was Grandpa Sheehan's bedroom. Ed Sheehan slept in here. And Mary Ann Sheehan, Ed Sheehan's sister, died in that bedroom over there. My dad found her.
Oh.
And see, there's a little closet in there now. Bull behind it, and it would scare us kids so bad we wouldn't go to the bathroom for 3 days because we was afraid of that bull. But the bull would eat the grass all down, and otherwise it was full of snakes. There was a lot of
See,
snakes.
none of that was here when we were here.
No, that is a neighbor that has started the junkyard down there, and that's terrible.
Yeah.
So that's where the outhouse was.
Yep. That was hard to go. 6 boys slept in here. And they used to, when it got real hot, they'd climb out this window and lay on the porch roof and try to get their breath at night because it gets so hot.
Yeah.
There were, what, 6 boys in your family?
There was actually 7, but one died. One died as, he was only about 15 months old when he died. He had a brain tumor. All the old
Imagine what it's going to be to carry all that down and put it out on the
fire.
We threw it out the window.
Oh, good.
We opened a window and threw it out there.
Well, listen, you got to open all those old boxes and see what.
Oh, definitely. I miss some of the old rockers. I remember when my grandma used to.
Sit in them.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Huh.
See, it's broken up,
Yeah.
but that was one of her favorite rockers.
You can send them up to the Boat Tech School and let your.
Let them fix it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. All you have to do is get a new rocker put on it.
Where's the old dasher out of the church? God knows.
I don't know.
God knows where it's at.
See, we found all this stuff in here
Oh.
when we tore the old porch off.
Huh. You gonna put a porch back up?
Yeah, we're gonna put a deck
A
deck on it, and so that the moisture goes down through and doesn't lay on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was how you got in the front door.
Yeah.
And you said, Donna, this is the tree that
He planted when he was 8 years old. Ed Sheehan was 8
your
years old.
Yeah, your grandfather.
Uh-huh. It had the whole top cut out of it because one of the renters that was here couldn't get TV reception. He went up and cut 15 feet out of the top.
Oh, jeez.
He made everybody mad for doing that. And then they've had to cut off. It's real old, the tree's dying. And it's got disease. You can see how brown it is. We don't want to take it out because it'd be too much of a shock to Dad, but we want to start some fast-growing trees in between, and when they get a little higher, we'll take it out. Because that's a landmark. You can see that tree from everywhere.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I don't like to cut down a landmark, but it is dying. In here.
Was this the foundation?
This here is the foundation of the chicken coop that we had after the house fell down, but over there where that little hump is on the ground, Pat, over in there, that's kind of where the old house was.
Okay.
And there was a pig pen down in here.
Hill, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. We used to sled right down over there, and you wouldn't stop till you got clear down there. Over to Joe's house. You'd go and go and go, and there used to be a fence along there, and we would hang real close to the sled and go right under the fence. We used to ski down this hill too. We call that the Springfield.
Are these your horses?
No, those are Mick's sons. Tommy's horses. He keeps them down here. He has electric fence along here.
Oh, he has?
Yeah.
Oh, right here.
Yeah.
Folks, I'm
So
gonna
keep
get
them
the
from
shade.
going
You
up
want
on
to
the
stay in
road,
sun
huh?
as long as
Yeah,
you
they
like.
could get hit and killed on that road.
I don't need the sun.
That's too much hot, isn't it? Here's
It's around 90 degrees.
Yeah, it is, and it's humid. Up above, that's really interesting, the old barn. This wall started to come down last year. The whole roof, this floor came down. He sold potatoes for years, and this was a big potato can. And he had big fans and everything in here where he kept the potatoes. There was a dairy farm when I was growing up, and we used to milk cows. And there was our
This
stanchions.
is like an antique chair.
Yeah, it is. That's why we brought it out here, so
Yeah.
nothing would happen to it.
You could,
Finish that off a little.
yeah.
They need scrubbed and cleaned. They need
Oh,
to...
these motorcycles or bikes?
They're mixed kids.
Oh, God, look at them.
They're old.
Yeah,
They're old. These kids have had their stuff down here.
they might be worse. Before you get rid of them, I'd check them out.
Well, they're mixed. They
Yeah.
belong to him.
Oh.
So I did all the washing, and you get shocked real bad in there because Dad never had it wired properly. And the whole time you're washing, you're just getting shocked and shocked.
That was what you call the washroom?
No, that's where we washed all of our milkers and everything. It's called the milk house.
The milk house.
Yeah, that's where we washed the milkers, and we had to wash all the pans. See, we had an old-fashioned dairy before they had all this modern equipment. We had to wash everything and back flush the milkers. And
Well, did you sell your house in New Mexico?
no, I rented it out.
Oh, you rented it. If something happens here, you can always go back, huh?
Yeah, and we just built it. We only finished it 2 weeks before. We just built it. So, but I talked to my dad on the phone. He's so unhappy because he was about to put it home. Because
Well, how long do you think it's going to take for you to get them in here, though?
we're supposed to have him out here next week.
Oh, are you?
That's why we're working so hard. I have to check him out of that home he's in on the 17th. See, the home he's in is not like a full care facility, and he is full care, so they're not allowed to keep him only for a short period of time because he's like bedfast. It's like adult care where they can get up and dress themselves, but he can't. Kids' houses are all on. That was all the farm. Clear up behind that, the woods behind Tom's house, that's all the farm. This lower farm was called the McCoy Farm. That hill there is called Billy's Hill. Used to be a man by the name of Billy Bowes that owned property right in there. And that was always called Billy's Hill. And all this woods down in here, this is all farm. And everything up back over this hill, clear down through the woods on the other side. There's about 150 acres. I have that table and chairs and that one nice chair for the living room. And I bought a stove because I knew Mom didn't have a good cook stove. So, I don't have much to start out with. Not much. Now this is the barn that you would remember because this was always pushed open. Once you get there. But this was one of the oldest barns in Cambria County here. One of the first built barns, and it was also the second largest barn ever built in Cambria County. But you see it needs teared down.
Oh, yeah.
We could save a lot of lumber out of this. It has a lot of good logs in it. But it needs taken down for safety reasons.
Yeah.
It's all falling away here,
Yeah.
and it's going to fall down and hurt somebody.
Well, can you sell the lumber up here? Or?
We could sell the lumber, or we could use it to make another nice, smaller, like a two-car garage or something.
Or a shed or something for your...
A storage shed and a two-car garage.
Yeah.
Now, what kind of animals did you have?
We had a lot of cows, we had horses, we had pigs and chicken. Now the pigs and chicken were down in here. There was a round house that was called the chicken coop, and a big oblong place was called the pig pen. And we had sheep at one time. When I was a little girl, Grandpa, when he lived with us, had 100 head of sheep. And they gave us a lot of trouble with the cattle. But Grandpa was fond of sheep because he was an Irishman.
Yeah.
And So we had 100 head of sheep here at one time that we kept down in the lower barn. All that woods is ours up around this way here. My brother Fred always wanted to build a house up here where the scene was pretty. When I was 4 years old, my job was to carry 2 berry buckets full of water to the men working down the field.
Oh my.
And the grass would be clear over my head. I can remember walking through the grass, hit me in the face with two buckets of water. And by the time I get there, I'd spill half out of each bucket, but I still got enough for them to get a drink.
Get a drink, huh?
I can get with it.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Whatever it is, it'll be all right.
Oh, yeah.
I met relatives today that I never knew I had.
That's right.
Yeah.
You lived in Pittsburgh all your life? You say Mary was your mother?
Mary Sheehan was my mother.
Okay, and that was Michael's daughter. Okay, that would be my great-grandfather's brother.
Who's that for?
That's Ernest's grandfather and grandmother. That was the Timothy Sheehan that was the county commissioner.
died in 28. You have a record of that.
Uh-huh.
She died in 55.
For 41.
41.
40.
1941.
44, isn't it?
41.
41.
January 14th, 1941.
1941.
Oh, okay. Okay.
There's another Sheehan there.
Yeah, that's the head of the house.
That's the head of the household.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the one that started all this, huh?
Yeah, that's the one that started all the trouble. Now, it doesn't say on there when he was born.
Well, he was age 78 and he died in 1900.
Yeah.
That's an old piece.
1820.
She was born in 1825.
5. She died in 1902.
Burgoon was her maiden name.
What?
Burgoon.
Burgoon.
Yeah, she was Rebecca Burgoon.
Yeah.
Years ago. There was a big hall there, big fancy stuff all around, and there was a rail around it all there.
Remember 2 side orders too.
And there's 2 sides.
Yeah.
They done it. Boy, it'd be a joke if the priest would lock the door. We'd be locked in here. Wouldn't that be something? Yeah. We'd have to stay till tomorrow morning. Across these trees and right in that field over there is where the bricks for this church was burned up. And all the lumber and stuff in this church was cut off from the local. Go right around Santa Gus. Okay, let's go get something to eat.
There's another Sheehan down there.
Probably his brother's, his dad's brother's valley.
Right here is off the valley. He was born in 1881. He'd be 110 years old.
Nice and peaceful. Nobody bothers. Quiet.
We're gonna finish today.
Walk all over the lake, don't come to the lake.
No,
Tomorrow either.
nobody bothers you.
Maybe Friday.
We might be done by Friday.
Did you get your picture?
I got it. I got them.
You did?
Yep.
Surely I...
What did they spray for, Ernest?
Gypsy moth. Those ones that eats all the leaves off the trees, then they die.
Somebody eating at the table.
Yeah, over there the deer are getting something to eat. 6, 7, 8. One up in their wagon's 10 and 9. See, another one's 10. Another one's 11. Up here goes one across. It's 12.
Skinny little runs.
Either that or clover. And they got all the browsette out of the woods, and there's no clover close, so they have to go too far to get something to eat, and they come out here and eat bread and apples and corn. See, they're all standing there waiting for these cars to feed them.
There's 10 of them right there.
Yeah, why don't you take a picture of that whole herd?
What's the matter, Dandy? Huh? You want something to eat? Want something to eat? A lifesaver?
Hopefully they ain't much worse.
Coming over the car. Yeah. It's hard to believe, ain't it?
They're not camera.
There's two boats down there you can get. Hunter. Maybe you read about Willie Bolt Park. That guy had deer coming out like this. And he put a piece of bread in his mouth, and the deer take it right out of his mouth. Oh, my. Yeah. And that is no story either. I've seen it.
Right.
Hey,
She will anyways.
Which is your ironwork ought to be off the front of that. Let her shine on that.
She's putting her tools down, that's all.
Yeah, that's okay.
You have to take a little picture of her garden too.
Oh, I have to take that. Yeah, my dad will be interested in that. To see her garden.
Hey, at 85 years old and crippled up with arthritis like she is, and she can go out there and work the garden. She was picking blackberries. I know it was 25 or 30 years ago. And
No, she got him.
she got me before. 25 or 30 years ago, the doctor told her she'd never walk again. She was so bad with arthritis. Well, she isn't walking well, and she isn't dancing, but by golly, she gets around.
Yeah.
You call that determination.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
You call that determination is what you do.
Really? Well, sometimes, you know, it's all in your head, too. If you want to make
That's a moving picture.
if you
Right,
want to make
right.
it go. Yeah.
That's right.
You will
Vicky, was
say...
that a moving picture?
Yes. That's a videotape.
Videotape,
It takes
yes.
everything you say.
Let's wave it, huh?
Okay.
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 Here's cucumbers up here.
My husband's dead 10 years.
Okay. All right.
How about that? I'll get out of your way.
That's okay.
But I moved into an apartment.
You notice there's not one weed.
Of course.
Not one. You see they're watered around the bottom there?
Uh-huh.
And she doesn't particularly appreciate help either. She wants to do it herself.
That's right. That's that Sheehan determination,
I don't
boy.
know what it is, but boy, it's something.
Boy, they're big. She said she had them in the house for a long time.
I don't know if there's anybody home here or not.
Hi.
Oh, that's Moon's grandson,
Huh?
Pat. That is Aunt Mildred's grandson, Pat.
Oh.
That would be her youngest son, John's son.
Okay.
There's an older one, Mike, our godson. Who just graduated from high school. He's at the graduation here. Last week or so. You have to think for a minute. You can shut your camera off when she gets ready, huh?
Darling, I wish you'd call me up. Tea's no fun with an empty cup. I grow so bored with the one I'm in. I want your arms and your lips again. I can't go riding in Central Park and watch the sky on as it grows dark. And all the places where we have been, I never go if you might come in with somebody else, and I know I'd throw a cup and saucer. I'd hate her so. That's Helen Welsmer on Broadway.
Oh, isn't that cute?
Sister put her name, and I'll send it to you and you give it to her. Okay?
Okay.
Put her name too. The day she was born.
got a movie camera, huh? Oh, oh. Is that Altoona right there, huh?
Yeah, you're pointing at it. That's Altoona. You see all those long buildings and stuff like that is the old railroad shops.
Yeah. Okay.
It was a railroad town. They call that the main line. It comes through
Right.
Altoona,
Harrisburg.
yeah, the whole way, and then
Whole way,
like
yeah.
up through these little towns, Glitzen, Crescent,
Right.
Lily, Portage, through to Johnstown. They just nicknamed it the main line. Sitting down in among the trees, there's Penn State campus. You've heard of that college.
That's Patty went there.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Isn't that beautiful?
I think this is really worth the drive up here. You see these mountains as you go north. This would be north. As you go more north over these mountains here, you get, they call it Bald Eagle. And the reason they do is you see that limestone out there, there's no trees grows on it, them are loose rolling rocks. And Bald Eagle is just out of sight down there. But we're heading, you know, towards the main campus of Penn State then, you know, up that way. You get down through Tyrone or up that way, you can go many ways. One of
Well, you there to eat supper too, Mike.
Why, sure. Yeah, I never missed a meal, you know that.
He don't look like he does very good.
No, I'm fat and good shape here.
You're like your Aunt Margaret, you're not losing no.
No, I'm not losing any weight, I'm sorry to say. I would like to be a lot lighter than I am, but I won't quit eating.
Oh, honey, you got that on me and I like me so much.
Oh, that's all right. Just smile pretty and they'll come out just good.
And you know, Ida come up and see me and here I down at the doctor's, say Ida. Then I called and she said, she just got so homesick for me, she had to get Bobby to bring her up in here. Why one day I called, and one of the days, I see I've been to the doctor 3 times already. I know they're to Jonestown now.
Aunt Margaret, you are the oldest, right, of the family?
Sure, she's the oldest.
You're the oldest,
Yeah.
right? And then Aunt Mildred's, what, about 2 years younger? She was just
Mildred's only a year younger.
Only a year.
1 year. Okay.
And then Charles is 3 years younger than me.
Yeah.
A little over 3. You haven't heard from him.
Oh, we won't hear from him. No news is good news.
Yes.
Every time Dad gets in touch with you is when he needs something. Is that right? Yeah, right.
Honey,
And he's in Turkey, yes.
thank you. Something I always can use. Thanks, Patty, dear.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I'll give you something home. I don't know.
Oh, don't you?
Now you have to write a letter.
I'm from West Virginia. I was born in West Virginia, but Kentucky, I just crossed the river and you're in Kentucky.
Nice.
Yeah, my farm was in Kentucky.
Oh, Jerry's oldest girl was there for, what's it, a year, Mickey?
Probably.
He, what does he do? He's what does Tony Lassick do? He's something.
He's a nice dog.
General Electric business, anyway. I don't know, but anyway, he moved in from Louisville to Bloomington, Illinois here in the spring. And how have you been since I saw you?
Fine, fine, real good.
That's good.
Real good.
Mildred took an awful liking to her. She remembered you from way back.
Oh, yeah. I remember when she came to Pittsburgh and she'd be out at Mike Shin's place, you know.
Yeah.
Why, my grandpaps, why, I remember, I think my mother and I went out to see her a couple times. That's before she even got married.
Oh, yeah, that was
Long before she got
That
married.
was way back in the late 20s.
Yeah.
Well, thanks a lot. I wasn't expecting a present. And a few folks that stay overnight, there's 4 big, clean, empty beds up there. How about it? Can you stay overnight?
No, not tonight.
Well, you come before the snow flies in. And,
Oh, we'll pick up all the snowflakes.
Well, she knows what it is when the snow flies around here. It's like you fly from us.
It's allowed to happen anytime, Mike.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. If it snowed in, we have to stay for the winter.
You're not kidding. You'd stay the winter if you get snowed in here.
We'll just come and
This
stay
happens.
the winter then, won't we?
Wouldn't that be wonderful?
Yeah, see that?
That's just what's hoping to happen. Wouldn't that be nice to be tucked in?
Yeah.
We'd
play cards. If you play cards there, you're talking to card players.
What do you play, Margaret?
Well, I play,
500?
yes, and pinochle and,
Oh, my.
and cinch.
She
Just depends who I play with.
She loves cards.
I tell you one thing though, you probably can't beat her unless you're real good.
Walter's a good card player.
I only play cards.
You still play 500, you know?
I play
I play
pinochle.
500. Oh, you play pinochle? Oh, we could learn.
And that old cinch is a game that only chess-burgers play. You have to be from chess-burgers to play cinch.
Something you made up.
That's what I hear anyway.
Well,
Do you play cards?
Oh, he can
Yeah,
play
but he
cards.
cheats.
Don't she?
He cheats.
oh, it runs in the family. That's why Grandpa Ed Sheehan and Dad
Cheats.
used to play with Uncle Ed, and they cheated and winked at each other, kicked under the table, and Uncle Ed threw the cards all over the room. Remember that? They were terrible. They just plain, they couldn't get along at all when they played cards.
You guys lost track of each other, but you did the same things in different places.
Yeah, they were.
You play cards.
Uh-huh.
What's your first name?
Sarah. Sarah.
Sharon. Oh, that's a...
Sarah. Sally.
Sarah.
Sally.
Sarah.
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 Oh, I thought maybe...
My middle name is Margaret.
Yeah, you remember that?
Name?
Yeah.
Margaret, yeah.
Her middle name's Margaret.
My mom called me after a little girl she knew out in Pittsburgh. Mom used to live in Pittsburgh.
Oh,
Edith. I never liked my middle name.
Edith. Margaret Edith.
No, I have a
Margaret
first
Edith.
cousin that's her name's Edith. and
She
I
liked it very much, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah. I
confirmation.
think if you connect a name with somebody
Yeah.
you like.
Well, Mom liked this little girl that died in Pittsburgh, and she said she wanted me to call after her, so that's how I got Edith.
Well, how'd you get your first name?
After Aunt Maggie. Your Aunt Maggie and my Aunt Maggie.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good old Irish name, Maggie.
I like my
Oh,
name.
yeah.
I
Isn't
always
it now?
liked my name. I always did.
Uh-huh.
Right.
I
A
like
lot of people don't.
Katie and Maggie and
what to call me.
Molly and Polly and I mean,
Mom always called me Reet.
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 Marguerite.
Marguerite. Her dad said Marguerite, but my name was Margaret.
How did you spell your name? Did you spell with just one T?
Yes, yeah.
My mother's name was Marguerite. They called her my grandfather called her Marguerite, but she had the E-T-T-E on the end.
Well, I was just baptized in the old fashioned.
Margaret.
But it's after Aunt Maggie.
You know, that reminds me of something. Just on television the other day, I heard about this Eddie Rabbit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he came from Ireland, and his name is Rabbitte.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
T-T-E.
Yeah,
I thought it was just rabbit, but this is
Yeah.
ribbit. Whatever, yeah.
Now, how have you been, Patty?
Real good. Real good.
Working?
Oh, yeah. Very hard. Very hard indeed.
What,
See, I can't do
Don't you think?
Oh.
Margaret,
I say our crew around here sticks together pretty good. We socialize with back and forth among ourselves, but we kind of lost track of the ones a little bit further out around, you know.
Yeah.
But like this batch of cousins that's around here all get along good, you know.
Yeah,
There's really, they pretty well stick together.
Does it happen all of a sudden?
that's right.
Margaret, tell me that again about my grandmother, the time you met her.
Repeat that, she wants to get it on film.
It's like
About her combing your hair and, you tell her.
She slept with me. She slept with me and she combed my hair and I just loved her. She just treated me like a baby. I was born in 1904. I think she was about 15 when she got our place that year. Was she born in 96?
Yes.
She's 8 years there. And she was just like a big sister. I just loved her.
What year was this?
1911.
1911. I never knew that she came up to the farm when she was young.
This would be who now?
My grandmother.
Oh, your grandmother.
Yeah, 1911.
1911.
She came up for a visit.
That's Mary you're talking about, right?
Yes, uh-huh.
Did her brothers?
Mary and Uncle Mike and Joe come. All Uncle Mike could do is brag about Joe.
No.
We got it on tape now.
We got it on tape, too. Keep talking, keep talking.
Keep talking, she wants to get it on film.
Oh, and poor little Billy, I never saw Billy. He never brought him up.
Michael, we called him Mike, Uncle
Well, they
Mike.
called him Billy,
We
too.
called him Billy.
Michael William?
Yeah.
Well, Uncle Bill, Mike was Billy.
Yeah.
He was a couple years older than me, I think.
He was born in 1902.
I was only a year older than I was born in 1904.
Cause see, there's still a little.
Well, I know I never saw Billy.
Still, you know, I don't have.
He
quite
stayed
all
as-
the
as-
shade
he was a
that
black
I
sheep.
do on this side.
He was a black sheep.
Well, Joe was
I'll
a,
never complain.
He was
after
a big wheel.
you know, Mike only had one
And
kid,
when
I
I
think.
laughed, it's still noticeable. And when I
It's
kept-
on film.
I've heard of that, but I don't know.
It's on tape. It runs in the family, Aunt Margaret.
Uh-huh.
That's a hereditary defect.
And it's not, I mean, you know, that you.
Isn't that true?
Yeah.
It's something that happens.
Every family has one.
That's what he said, you could get a
Right.
stomach
That one-
in your
I know we
nose
fell
or
off the
something.
bed, some of us went down the time Billy died.
I'm glad everything's okay.
I didn't go, I remember we loaned our car, and
So Susan
Mildred
came
and
home.
Charles and Dad,
She
some
stayed
of them
for
went.
4 days.
The way back was in 34, Patty.
1934, right.
Yeah. And see, Jesus was small, my third girl was a small baby, and I didn't know, but I remember we had that.
understand.
No, I'm just
They
a
were
grandmother.
Yeah.
dependable
Well,
car,
that's
and they
just
go
what
all
I
over the
grandmother
down,
living with
time
me,
Billy
so,
died.
you know, like.
Aunt Margaret, could you tell us,
You know.
Uncle Mike used to come up around here. I remember him coming. He always came by himself, isn't that right? He didn't bring anybody with him, did he? He always came by himself.
He came with that very few times. We first came here. I'll never forget our little pet pig. I'll never forget this. And they came here just a few days after we moved in here.
And then a couple days I said,
And
you know,
here
they
we
just
had supper.
accepted it,
Aunt
you know.
Mary, not Mike was here with supper.
You weren't gonna.
And this was the kitchen
You
then.
hadn't written or anything
This
else.
little
You're
pig
on
got
your
hungry,
feet,
this
you're
little
gonna
pet
be okay.
pig.
Used to me, you know, take
And he
care
come
of
running in the house.
And that's
And
what I
she
thought,
pretty near
oh,
died.
so cute.
Oh
She
my
said,
God, to keep the pig in the house, and she hollered and yelled.
I
This poor little tiny
especially
pig.
scared
Because
of
Granddad,
that's
there
what
always
we
would
feel
be
better
It's a
because
baby
she
pig,
got backed away from
Little
you.
baby pig.
Yes,
Oh.
little fellow just, but my daddy-in-law always gave me that pig.
Oh,
He always kept pigs, and it was always a runt.
oh, jeez.
And I'd always try to make this little pig, and I did. I beat him every time. I fed this little pig lots and took care of him, and Ernest got bigger than the ones that they kept.
Oh,
She
boy.
gathers up all the animals in the country here. This summer, my son come peddling there in a whole flock of ducks. And she...
Oh, weren't they pretty, huh?
So they got a good home and they're taken care of, and we give you credit for that.
What was this?
Tom brought home a bunch of ducks for her.
Oh, I didn't know
No,
that.
didn't you know about that?
Yeah, he brought them over.
We don't tell you everything.
I know you
Didn't you know about it? They're the prettiest little things you ever saw, and I have a bad back. And I know the different people like ducks, so I called Ruthie. And she 3 or 4 homes for the ducks. And if he gets any more, tell him that there's people waiting for him.
Waiting for ducks, okay.
And every dog anybody don't want, Aunt Margaret takes.
I'd take another dog. I like 2 dogs. See, I had a nice little dog here from the Gene dog for me. It was a Springer Spaniel. Steeler's his name. And my God, I went away here about this eye business here the other day for home with my dog. There's somebody kills dogs right in sight. Is that show you what's coming?
We kind of a nice who it is.
Hey, Maxie dear, keep quiet.
So that's my first cut. And or his son. You love Jerry. He's a nice, big, good-looking, easy-going fella. My God, everybody. He's a real nice guy. Everybody likes him. He's great. And his wife is a jewel.
I love those cows.
You like the cows? Makes you feel like
Big
home.
cattle. I guess I don't know whether you call them cows or not. They're cattle, aren't they?
I guess you call them cattle, beef
Yeah,
cattle.
some of them have horns, some of them don't.
Yeah, some of them are steers, and I think some of them are heifers. And I'm not.
It was down the garden, down where the pear orchard is. You show them where the pear orchard is. Well, anyway, Granddad Sheehan called. It was in June, I think the 18th. He says, come up. They called her Maggie. Something happened to Maggie. And they ended up and Maggie was dying. But that day she walked to Loretta, the confession and communion. It was my aunt on the other side. Old Aunt Mary Grove's mother.
Oh, Max.
And all they done was talk about Aunt Mariah told me a dozen times. It was planning her wedding to McCoy. And this old Irish granddad of mine, he didn't like the McCoys, as I hear. And I don't know what happened there. There was a lot of, I can remember the older people talking when I was a little child running around.
She's walking around the house.
That,
He's looking at the cat.
What happened there, honey? There was strong talk, though, but I can't say for sure. I don't know. See, it was a long many years before I was born. Dad was only 10. But he told me, he used to sit and tell us about Aunt Maggie. She must have been a wonderful person, 18 and so happy to go and get married to Frank McCoy. And years after that, here, about 11 o'clock, a beautiful horse and buggy pulled in the yard. And Dad hollered, Mom, get the white tablecloth, get this, get that, make good dinner out. Here's Frank McCoy, that is. And he come in and hugged and kissed us little kids and said, I was almost your uncle. So I don't know, honey dear, for sure, but there was strong talk about Maggie. And Aunt Mariah, but Mildred told me, don't you tell Patty that. I said, Patty's got a right to know.
Well, truth is truth, whatever you know.
Whatever, I can't tell what happened, I don't know. But the old people said that old Timmy he's a Corkin Irishman and he had a bad temper. And he said, there's no McCoy getting in this family. So we don't know. It's so far away. But it's a terrible story. That's the reason I was called who I am.
Maggie.
Yeah. And but Dad always called me Marguerite and Mom said Reed, so I don't know. I mixed up. But she was somebody out of her pictures. Mildred have her picture. I don't know what happened to Mom's albums. You know, Mike, where them albums went.
No, I don't.
You don't know.
I don't have them.
I don't know who would have. What if Edward would have any of them old albums? Mom had great.
You know what? I bet Unc might. Now, I don't think they've ever got the pleasure of Unc yet. Is he still acting? Uncle Ed, is he still acting up? Or is he?
He's calmed down a bit.
He's calmed down a little bit?
He come here Sunday 2 weeks ago.
Did
he? Him and Rita came like they used to.
Yeah.
And all they wanted to talk about was how bad sport Mr. C.T. is. He said, you remember...
Well, that's a fact. We all know that.
He said, you remember we used to have hot cakes every breakfast.
Yeah.
Charlie would never eat a corn cake or a buckwheat cake. Here, Mike.
No, I'm good
And,
right here. This is where I want to be.
We'd have to make old Mr. C.T. some flannel cakes, we call them.
Yeah, right. I said same thing. Me, I wanted the corn cakes and he eat the flannel cakes. I said they're flannel cakes. Honest. I got that from you, Mike.
Well, Edward just wanted to talk the other night about old times. I wish he'd come back and stay longer, but...
Well, he's been pouting. He'll be all right.
Well, he stopped at our place.
Yeah, he stopped at our place, too.
Yeah,
He's you know, he's getting devilish again. He'll get over it. He'll be all right. He'll be okay, believe me. It'll take him a while. He's just ornery.
Well, he said he learned something. He learned to keep his mouth shut.
Yeah, didn't he now? I can't imagine teaching him anything, but okay, maybe.
Well, everybody's entitled to their own opinion.
You're right.
But they ought to try to change somebody else's mind either.
Yeah, that's right. Everybody's got a mind of their own, don't
Yes,
they?
they got right. We've got feelings.
You have to understand, this is kind of a private joke. Uncle Ed Sheehan is her brother, and we love him dearly, don't misunderstand. But he never can lose, and he is always right.
Oh,
and we laugh about it. I mean,
One
we
of them
all know
deals.
it. Hey, we like the man, don't misunderstand me. It's just that he's such a damn poor loser. Isn't he, Aunt Margaret? He's
You're right, 100%.
Oh, he can't lose, he just can't.
That's her brother?
Yeah.
Yeah, my brother.
And this is your father's sister,
Right.
right?
Yeah, she's my aunt.
I'm the oldest one.
You're the oldest.
Yeah. She's my aunt, but we get along fine now, really. We don't have trouble. No. We know Unc, though. We call him Unc.
Unc.
And we know him very well because, and we just kind of have a little fun with his problems, you know.
Did she meet Unc?
No.
No, we wondered.
Well, listen, we ought to have
You know what, dear? You're going to have that all on tape.
Oh,
Just
jeez.
talking about it.
That's true.
Uh-oh.
He'll never see it.
Well, it doesn't matter if he does, it's the truth. It really doesn't matter, it's the truth.
Margaret, did your dad ever say anything about another brother named Timothy?
David. That poor little fellow died, he's 4 years old. That's who I called my little oldest baby after, my two dead uncles, David Charles. Mom's brother Charles and little David was on the Sheehan side.
Okay, because I can remember looking at one of the census for, I guess it was 1870 census, and there was Mary Ann, who was the oldest, and then John, and then Maggie, and then there was a Timothy D.
So that's David, Uncle Dave.
Dave. And
Mom, my dad always called him, they called him Babe.
No,
Buddy.
Smitty's coming in the sliding door, I think.
Buddy. And I still call my one sister Bub, because Dad said they always call little... Didn't Grandmother Sheehan have a hard Patty? She's in bed with either Aunt Eleanor or Aunt Liz, I don't know which.
Yeah.
And they had scarlet fever. Poor little Dave died, and it left Annie the 6-year-old mind. I don't know if anybody ever told you, Annie had a 6-year-old mind on her.
Okay.
She lost, she taught us her ABCs and count to 100. But nobody paid attention to her, Patty. Today she'd be put in a school and, treated right. Can I get you something to eat or drink, honey?
No, he's on the bathroom.
No, and I told you to
Right
take
back.
that.
Show him back in there, Mike. You won't have to go upstairs.
Yeah, he'd be good upstairs.
Honey, back of the curtain there. Yes, back of the curtain, honey. Oh my, so much.
They all had scarlet fever then.
Yes, and David
Is there a
didn't.
pull switch? Is there a pull switch? The light at Margaret? What? Is it by a pull switch or is there a switch to turn the light on?
Oh, honey, there's in there to the raise your window to the left is a switch.
To the left.
To the left,
To
ma'am.
the left there. I'm sorry, don't look at that room. It's all tore up. But there's a commode back there.
Okay. So anyway, there was Mary Ann had scarlet fever, and they
6 years old. It left her.
I couldn't find the light switch. Okay.
Well, okay. And then Uncle John, he seemed to make it pretty good.
okay.
And David died.
Okay. That was in, David was 4 years old when he died.
Yes. According to what my dad used to tell us. Of course, that was long before Dad was born.
Right, right.
Dad was born in 65.
Uh-huh.
But poor old Grandma, didn't she have it hard? I was always glad when the old people called me Little Becky. That's what I was known as, a little kid running around. Because everything I ever heard from her was good. Grandmother Sheehan.
And she was the one that was an Indian, right?
Half Indian.
Half Indian.
Becky. And Dad
That's where
denied
the
that
Indian
high and
comes
low.
in
The
then.
people
See,
around,
your Indian
you
blood
know that,
does
Mike.
not- and
There were
that's not real
Tuscarora
far back.
Indians.
Huh?
That Indian blood
Tuscarora
back
Indians.
was.
Tuscarora.
Yeah.
And there's nothing to be ashamed of at all.
No, I'm
So
proud of it.
that's
Me
only
too.
about 3 generations back, your
Yeah,
Indian
me
blood.
too.
And that was on the Andersons, right? Her mother, Rhoda Anderson, was the
Yeah.
Indian.
Yeah.
And what nationality was her father, John Burgoon?
Some said English. Did you hear
French.
English? Huh?
French.
French.
It's a French name.
Burgoon.
Burgoon. I forget how you spell it, but it's French
You
anyways.
will you sit down, mister?
I'm stiff and sore.
He's trying to keep
I gotta
moving.
move around a little bit.
Okay.
That's why I was
What's
out
these
walking
rugs?
around.
I shouldn't have these rugs
Did you
here.
put the cows to bed?
Couch
there
just
eating.
all went in. I
Did
watched
they go in? Did they really go in?
Was there anybody come in? Did you see anybody out there? I thought I heard a car, didn't you?
They all gone?
There's one out here nibbling. He's waiting for me to come out there. That's the one that was looking up here.
One
They
cow.
have,
Ain't it funny they know to go into the barn?
there's 30-some little ones down at the other place.
You should have seen this morning. I bet there was 2,000 birds over.
Margaret, what are the names of all your children?
She wants to get the names of all your kids on film, Aunt Margaret.
Okay. Well, you want the little dead fellow too?
Sure.
Little David Charles.
It just sounded like
Yeah.
a beehive.
Now, and then I keep going.
Sure.
And then there was Bonnie Louise, that was my second one. She's a little older than Mike.
It would be something to
And then
see.
there was Lois, Mary.
You have a lot of
Dorothy
animals around your
Jean.
place?
No. Then there was Paul Edwin. And Ruthie Estelle.
Yeah.
And
There's no cows.
Gerald
You don't have
Leroy.
no cows.
and Edward Francis. That's the whole 9.
How many is that?
How many horses
9.
does your son have?
3.
I wasn't
Three.
keeping track.
Been keeping track of that. See, there's 8 living, Mike.
8. Is Davy's the only one that's not? David.
My God, I
Dave's the
wouldn't
only
travel
one,
on
yeah.
that. I wouldn't want to travel too
And
far.
what's Faye's right name?
It's cute.
Francis
It's nice.
Louise.
Frances Louise.
Oh,
we always
yeah.
just call her Faye.
The
Frances
kids
Louise.
Yeah, we
like
always,
it.
but see, I called her
Yeah.
after, in them days you didn't dare to have a
That's
problem,
something
you
the
know,
city
name,
kids will
like
never
Faye.
Right.
They
be
wouldn't have
able to say
baptized
they
Faye.
did.
That's right.
But I, one of the St. Grace books,
Yeah.
and the Faye Larkin was the girl on the book, and I liked that, and I always said if I ever had a little girl, I'd call her Faye.
Yeah.
I had to call her Francis to
They
get
love it.
Oh,
Faye.
yeah.
Francis
Dang,
Louise is
yeah.
her right name.
Frances Louise.
Whatever color the wedding
But
was.
it's-
Yeah, well, very good.
He has a
But I, we've always called her Faye.
Where's? Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be cute.
Now what do you want to know,
Yeah.
Patty dear?
Okay, you wrote me and told me about
And
your
they
Aunt
came to
Liz's
visit.
children.
Oh, yeah.
She had a son, Michael, and then she had
Now,
Peg,
he had
Margaret,
different ones
Margaret,
wanted him to do it ahead
and
of time.
Marie,
And he said
Marie,
no, 'cause he wanted
Marcel,
Freddie's wedding
Marcella,
first.
and Ida.
Yeah.
That's
and
when he
Ida.
got it all fixed
Okay,
up. They
Ida
came
was
in
the baby.
wagon, got all
Ida's the baby.
stuffed in
Ida's up here one day, I was
Yeah.
away.
It's
About 10
That
days
was
ago.
cute.
So this
You know, I
is the
wrote to
first
Ida
one
and I
now.
never heard from her.
Yeah.
Since
She
then,
can't
he's
write
caught
her.
on. Oh, he's
I don't know
done
why
quite
I
few
wish
this
Bobby
summer.
would write. He's
Oh,
a
he
he's
did,
an
yeah.
easy write.
Really?
Because you'd
I'd
meet
like
a
to
wonderful
see that.
person. You
That'd be
met
cute.
Ida. I wish
Yeah.
you'd go over and introduce yourself sometimes, Patty. You never, her and I played together from time, I was 2 and she was 3, and we never have had one.
And she lives with her son, John,
Look at
or,
this, look at this.
Well,
cow.
he's the
It's all
oldest one,
black.
Jack, young Jack, but he's in Florida. And then there's about 2 of them over in,
It's all black,
there's
doesn't
3 altogether, her children over in D.C.
uh-huh. But
You
she
want to
still
know their
isn't,
names? It's,
sure.
It's Patty and, oh, what's that one fellow's name? Joe and Jim. They're in D.C.
And Ida still lives in Pittsburgh, right?
Well, that one's all black.
Ida.
Uh-huh,
Yeah, Ida's up, and do you know her address? You have it.
yes.
411, all of it. And then there's Mary and Bob in Pittsburgh. Bob's a teacher. And Mary's husband has a big restaurant. She works herself to death.
She has a restaurant in Pittsburgh?
Mary's husband has, yes. I
Do you know where it is?
I don't even know the name it is. But Mary always come over. Whenever I go down and see Ida, Mary always come running over. But she's, but they're hard workers, and I don't know.
Well, if you have a restaurant, you have to be a hard worker.
I don't know how Mary does it. And Mary never had any children. They adopted one.
Oh.
She badly hurt the day Faye was married. I never thought she'd live. She had a bad car accident. You remember hearing about that, Mike, I know. You know, they had a car accident coming up here for a wedding.
For whose wedding?
Faye's,
Faye?
yeah, 1952.
Wow. It's been that long.
Here,
Oh, that's just been like yesterday. I remember we had the wedding breakfast at our place. Gracie cooked the wedding breakfast.
Yeah.
1952.
For Faye, yeah.
For Faye. Faye and I's always been close, really.
Yes, Faye went to school up here, and Mickey just treated her like, see, we moved from down along Patton Road up here. And Faye was, I guess, backward or something. I don't know. I know you took over.
No, it's just that I was a roughneck little boy. She was a scared little girl, that's all.
You helped her. She always said about how you helped her.
Oh, Faye and I was always buddies, yeah. We was always good buddies. In fact, hell, here just...
Well, you're good. You and them all might get along, Mike.
Oh, yeah, I don't fight with them. Here just this spring, Faye and I traveled to Pittsburgh a couple times, and Bonnie and all them. Yeah, we still go, so...
Yeah, isn't that wonderful?
Yeah, I have a lot of fun with it. I liked her husband, Johnny, too. Poor Johnny's dead now, but...
Faye's husband died the day our Eddie got married.
Okay.
Some of the kids.
They got the news at the wedding, some of them.
They had just arrived at the
It
wedding
was really bad.
reception and had to leave to go because their daddy was so bad.
Dougie's already there, wasn't he?
Yeah,
Doug
Doug
was
is the one
there,
had the unpleasant task of telling someone.
Sad, huh?
really sad. Johnny
He was a
wasn't
good guy,
there.
wasn't he?
Johnny was a good guy.
I always liked Johnny the man.
I did too. Yeah, I shouldn't say it, but he was my favorite. He always more close. But the girl said that's because he took over in place of my little boy had died. That's what they think.
Oh.
Well, not only that, Aunt Margaret, he knew the right things to say. He had a real mush mouth. He said nice things
Johnny
all
was
the time.
always a gentleman.
Yeah, he was. He was okay. Everybody liked him.
Yeah. Oh, I like all the bits.
Well, yeah.
Johnny's.
We was a little closer than him because Faye and I was more one age.
Yeah, I think that makes a difference.
Yeah.
He faced from April, September.
A couple months, yeah.
Older.
No, we always go.